You already know about the X5. I mean, it's been a part of BMW's range for more than 25 years now, and this one is its fifth generation. Now, in that time, of course, it's gained some very healthy competition from cars like the Audi Q7, the Range Rover Sport, and the Volvo XC90. And that's where this new X5 comes in. Now, as you can see, this car is just as bold as our 2026 What Car of the Year winner, of course, the BMW iX3. However, if you think it simply was a case of taking an iX3, putting it into a big photocopier and setting it to enlarge, you might want to take a closer look. For instance, the famous kidney grills are quite a bit squarer on the X5, and you also get these really cool double crisscross headlights. They'll certainly help you spot a new X5 in the dark. Compared with the old X5, this new version is slightly longer, and it also has a taller, boxier front end. However, we have lost quite a few millimeters in height, and it's also slightly narrower than before. So if you're wondering what power options this new X5 will come with, the short answer is a lot. A slightly longer answer? Well, the cheapest xDrive 40 version will come with a 3-litre 6-cylinder diesel engine, which features mild hybrid technology. There'll also be two plug-in hybrid options, which both use a 3-litre petrol engine. The less powerful of these makes a very healthy 483 brake horsepower, but if you want a real powerhouse of an X5, you'll need to go for the M Performance version. That has a slightly stronger electric motor and as a result makes a combined power output of 603 brake horsepower from an X5. But for the first time, the X5 range doesn't just stop at fossil fuels anymore. This version, the one we have right here, is the new all-electric iX5. And as a result of this, you can now count the Mercedes EQE and Polestar 3 among the X5's rivals. From launch, only one version of the iX5 will be available, but, at least on paper, it offers pretty much everything you could possibly want. Two electric motors combine to make 570 brake horsepower, and the 141 kilowatt-hour battery holds enough charge for an official range of 525 miles. That means the iX5 will be one of the longest range electric cars on the market, outclassing all of its direct rivals. It'll also be capable of charging at the dizzying speed of 450 kilowatts, making the X5 one of the fastest charging electric cars around. Well, that is if you can find an EV charger that charges at that speed. Now, not only is that more than the EQE or the Polestar 3 can officially manage, it also charges faster than the iX3, which is an accolade in itself. And if that isn't exciting enough for you, BMW says it's working on a hydrogen-powered version of the X5 as well. It'll convert hydrogen gas into electricity to power the motors. According to BMW, the iX5 hydrogen should be capable of covering 385 miles, and a refill will take about 5 minutes, which is no more than a petrol or a diesel car. Unfortunately, this version of the X5 won't be ready until 2028 though. So, in summary, you'll have the option of a mild hybrid diesel, a plug-in hybrid, fully electric or hydrogen-powered X5. Got all that? Good. Now we all love getting a new car, but keeping on top of the admin? That can be a bit of a faff. And that's why we've set up My What Car. Think of it as your own free personal car assistant that puts everything into one place. You get personalized reminders for your MOT, servicing and tax, plus exclusive offers and benefits, and expert advice on things like insurance and breakdown cover. In short, it completely takes the hassle out of looking after your car. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to sign up for free. Now, obviously, I want to talk about the X5's interior, but before I could do that, check out these. These winglet door handles are supposedly inspired by what you get on planes. Give it a press, or press the key fob, and the door automatically opens. Indeed, the X5 is the first luxury SUV of this size to come with automatic doors. However, in the case of emergencies, rest assured that you will still be able to open and close the doors manually if need be. Now, if you think about all of the materials you typically find in a luxury SUV, you might imagine nice leather, maybe wood, maybe even steel. But the new BMW X5 is the first luxury SUV to feature slate right here in the center console. So if you are a miner from North Wales, this is the car for you. Now, it feels really light and airy in here, thanks in part to this nice white interior, but also the massive opening sunroof, which measures 2 square meters. Now, overall, things do feel nice and plush in here. However, there are some hard, scratchy plastics down at the bottom of the doors and in places like that. If you want a really plush car of this size, check out the Volvo XC90. It's not all bad news though. As well as the slate that we mentioned earlier, you get this really nice suede material that covers most of the dashboard. It's really quite smooth. Now, following in the footsteps of BMW's other Neue Klasse models, you get so many screens in here, and the biggest one, of course, is the central touchscreen, which has a weird trapezoidal shape, and it measures 18 inches. It runs BMW's latest iDrive infotainment system, and that's a good thing because it's very intuitive. However, in keeping with a lot of new BMWs, the handy rotary controller that used to sit here in the old X5 is missing. And that is a shame because it's far easier to rotate a dial than it is to prod a screen when you're on the move. On a more positive note, you do get the Neue Klasse panoramic iDrive driver's display. So rather than just having a screen in front of you, it spans the entire width of the dashboard. It's very customizable, so you can put things such as the clock or what radio station you're listening to, wherever suits you. And because of where it's positioned right up against the windscreen, you're never really taking your eyes too far away from the road when you look at it. But if that's not enough screens and displays for you, the new X5 also comes with an optional passenger touchscreen, which measures 14 inches and can be used to watch videos and play games on the move. And if you think that might be a little bit distracting for the driver, the new X5 comes with sensors that will detect whether I'm looking at that screen, and if that is the case, it will shut it down. You also get a lot of support from the seats as well. Now, as standard, the X5 comes with sporty kind of bucket-style seats. However, these optional ones are a lot more configurable, and you can adjust them up here on the door, which I find is far easier to use than having to grapple down at the side of the seat.
Now, a lot of car makers have been working on their driver assistance features lately, and BMW is no exception. This X5, for instance, comes with what's called symbiotic drive, which BMW says blends human and artificial intelligence. In more practical terms, what this means is that this X5 is capable of driving autonomously on the motorway from the moment you join it to the moment you take the slip road off. Now, the only problem with that is, as it stands, UK law doesn't allow for hands-free driving, so you'll have to wait a while in order to use it.
Now, of course, you do get plenty of interior storage as well. There's 2 trays for smartphones, one of which is wireless charging, 2 cup holders, and if I press this button, plenty of space in the center console. Overall, here in the front, I think the X5 is very impressive. But the big question remains, what's it like in the back? And as you can see, generally things are very positive indeed. Now, I am 6'2", but as you can see, I've got loads of headroom, even with this panoramic glass roof and its sunshade, and loads of legroom as well. I really like how the seat in front of me has a nice cutout, which means that my knees do get quite a bit of space, even with the seat set up for my typical driving position. There's quite a bit of room underneath the seat for my feet and a generally very flat floor, so the middle passenger, despite not having quite as much shoulder room of course, won't have to straddle a huge tunnel. Now, sat back here, you do of course benefit from climate control. You've got the screen down here, air vents there and by the doors. And if you're wondering where the USB-C chargers are, you simply flip this up where you would typically find your mounting point for, say, a tablet, and it's right there. Again, quality is generally very good. Apart from some scratchy plastics down here, we've got nice materials on the doors. You, of course, get your armrest with cup holders, and also you get these very nice cushions. So, overall, if you're taking passengers on long trips, they shouldn't have too much to complain about.
So there's plenty of space for 5 adults, but what if you want to carry even more passengers? Well, unfortunately, you can't. Unlike the outgoing X5, which was available with 7 seats as an option, this new version is strictly a 5-seater, no matter which version you go for. That puts the new X5 at a disadvantage against the Audi Q7 and Volvo XC90, which both come with 7 seats as standard.
So, as you can tell, a lot has changed with this new X5, but one thing has remained the same, and that is the boot space. It is roughly 650 litres once again, much like the old X5. That means it's not exactly a class leader. However, you've certainly got plenty of room for some buggies or for your holiday, things like that. And in the iX5, you also get a little compartment under here for your charging cables. Now, the boot floor is roughly flush with the opening, which is good if you're carrying heavy items that you can just push straight in. However, if you've got a really heavy item, because of air suspension, you can press this button, which should lower the car down. Just means you don't have to reach up quite so high when loading heavy items in. Now, given the popularity of the outgoing version, you could say that this new X5 has very big shoes to fill. In fact, with all of those power options, it may well be that the X5 has more hypothetical shoes than it does hypothetical feet. Now, obviously, we can't give you a full verdict on this car until we get a chance to drive it. But what I can tell you right now is you get a lot of features for your money, and with this iX5, a very capable electric